European officials are seeking commitments from the new administration of US President Donald Trump to participate in security guarantees for Ukraine. Allies generally agree with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that the United States will have to provide troops for any future peacekeeping force in the country, Bloomberg reported on anonymous sources. Kiev's European allies have said the United States may support the idea despite Trump's initial reticence, but they have stressed that it is too early to discuss in detail what a future peacekeeping force in Ukraine would look like, the newspaper's sources said. Europeans are trying to influence the new administration as Trump prepares to engage Vladimir Putin. The US president has threatened to increase pressure on the Russian economy unless Putin agrees to end the fighting. If European allies are forced to send troops themselves, it could undermine confidence in guarantees and cause divisions within NATO because it would effectively mean the end of transatlantic cooperation within the alliance, a senior European government official said. As Bloomberg notes, Trump's skepticism about supporting Ukraine may have softened. His team has demonstrated a willingness for the United States to focus on providing security guarantees to Ukraine. But in exchange for those commitments, Trump may expect Europe to shoulder a larger share of the burden of securing any potential deal. The Europeans understand that the United States expects them to provide the bulk of the troops, the diplomat said, because Trump views the war in Ukraine as a European matter. Several European leaders, including French President Emmanuel Macron, have considered sending European troops to support Ukraine after a ceasefire is reached. The Europeans are in discussions to propose specific solutions to the United States, a person familiar with the matter said. South Korean intelligence noted that of the 11,000 North Korean soldiers deployed in Russia's Kursk region, at least 300 were killed and about 2,700 were wounded. Amid the losses and the appearance of captured North Korean soldiers, Pyongyang is accelerating preparations for additional deployment of its troops in Russia. With nearly 4 months having passed since the deployment of troops in the war between Russia and Ukraine, it is believed that North Korea is accelerating preparations for additional activities and deployments amid numerous casualties and the capture of prisoners, the Joint Chiefs of Staff of South Korea said in a statement. Intelligence also claims that the DPRK is continuing to prepare for launches using advanced weapons, a spy satellite or an intercontinental ballistic missile.
Russian troops near Chasiv Yar in the Donetsk region are actively using the pipes of the Seversky-Donetsk-Donbass Canal to accumulate troops there under cover of fog to break through the city's defenses. As for the situation in Chasiv Yar, the enemy is actively using the pipes of the Seversky-Donetsk Canal to take cover during bad weather. Now in the Donetsk region we often see fog in the morning, and the enemy is actively using this period of time to accumulate in these pipes, and then, if possible, move deeper into the city in the morning or at night, said Speaker of the OTG, Lugansk, Dmitry Zaporozhets. According to the speaker, Ukrainian UAV operators are recording the movement of enemy troops and are trying to strike them. Zaporozhets noted that the Ukrainian positions near Chasiv Yar are becoming fewer and fewer, but the city is still held by the Ukrainian armed forces. The enemy is present everywhere and is looking for ways to penetrate the city under cover of bad weather. In the period 04-08 January 2025, the Defense Forces of Ukraine recorded enemy activity in the area of pipes of the Seversky Donetsk Channel. On January 4, the movement of more than 100 occupants was recorded. According to the available information, they were installed in the collector for future storm operations in the direction of Vremeny Yar. On January 9, an airstrike was carried out at the enemy's concentration point. The opponents suffered losses, probably up to 100 people. During 2 days after the impact, there was no movement near the pipes and the collector. On January 21, the occupiers organized a fire in the collector, probably in order to hide the traces of the destruction of such a large number of personnel and to avoid evacuation measures. The smoke and fire continued for about 5 hours. San Diego, the busiest corridor for illegal border crossings over much of the last year, has seen traffic slow dramatically. According to Associated Press, agents were making 1,500 arrests a day in April. Last week, they made less than 250 arrests a day. Instead of quickly releasing asylum seekers who turned themselves in, Border Patrol agents are spending their shifts trying to find people who want to elude capture. The Associated Press spent 6 hours with the Border Patrol and didn't encounter any migrants until the last half hour. The Border Patrol scanner was quiet for long stretches. Finally, 3 Chinese men and 1 Malaysian man made their way through a gap in the border wall and turned themselves into agents.